Multiversus is an upcoming platform fighter being developed by Player First Games and being overseen by Warner Brothers themselves. Now, with all the possible Warner Brothers IPs at their disposal, a certain zany trio seems like the perfect fit for a Warner Brothers fighting game. And that would be none other than the Warner Brothers and sister themselves. That's right, the Animaniacs would make for such a perfect addition to this game. Yakko, Wacko, and Dot. I mean, these guys are iconic. So today's video, I'm going to try to make, I'm going to try to make a case for the Animaniacs to join the playable roster for Multiverses. Alright, the first simple reason for actually including the Animaniacs in Multiverses as playable characters, I mean, it's simply, this is a Warner Brothers fighting game. So surely you need the Warner siblings to take part of the festivities, right? Not only are they iconic, they're wacky, they would be extremely original and extremely unique to say the least. They would stand out from any and every other character on the roster, especially playstyle wise. They'd surely separate themselves from any other character by being a 3-in-1 type of fighter. More on this in just a little bit. But also don't forget that iconic Warner Brothers water tower that they could bring with them as a possible stage. Can you imagine just fighting on top of that? Maybe a couple platforms off to the side, or then you got the big Warner Brothers tower. Maybe it's even just in the background, but I imagine fighting on the tower itself somehow. But if you're gonna make a Warner Brothers game where you're gonna include all sorts of references to everything, that water tower, yeah, you're gonna kind of need to include that at some point. Now, second reason is the devs over at Player First Games have actually stated themselves when discussing about how characters will be picked and who could have an advantage over the others. A quote here from the devs saying, "A character must feel unique and authentic to their source." So that quote alone could possibly give the Animaniacs actually a bit of an advantage when deciding which character or characters to create next. Simply because they could be a 3-in-1 fighter, right? So we'll compare Smash Bros here in a way, right? So you could either, in a way, you could have all three of them on stage at once. They could kind of play like an Ice Climbers kind of duo, right? Or maybe like an Ice Climbers / Captain Olimar with Pikmin, right? So you control, say, Yakko, for example, and then Wacko and Dot, maybe they get involved in the moveset, you know, they do whatever they need to do. You could have all three of them on the stage at the same time, or you could go with the old Zelda Chic / the Pyramithra mechanic, where like a down special could end up swapping each one in for their own thing. So you start with Yakko and you end up down special, transform right into Yakko or Wacko, and then Wacko can go into Dot, and then it's like a kind of a Pokemon trainer type of cycle. But either way that you want to go, rotating in and out or having all three on stage at one time, where they all get involved in each other's moveset, would be absolutely phenomenal. It sticks true to kind of the characters, right? Because they're always trying to, in a way, they're trying to upstage each other. They all want their own spotlight, right? So it could be fun nonetheless, but a 3-in-1 fighter, again, all on stage at once, or a swap mechanic works perfectly. Third reason is actually going to be, are they relevant? And that's the funny thing. They actually are relevant. So actually, let's start at the beginning here a little bit. The Animaniacs show first debuted in 1993. So not only do these characters appeal to an older type of audience, right? But they also had a recent revival with a new season that began in 2020. I believe that was in November. And then they also had a season 2 in 2021 in November. So that was only about 5 months ago. There's many episodes that were ordered. So like these wacky siblings also appeal to a younger audience with their recent revival as well. So it's not just other old characters that only appeal to a certain older audience. No. They got new shows. They got new seasons airing, and they appeal to so many than just the 90s kids. They appeal to so many more than just that. So they have that sort of like, should we say, perfect blend of nostalgia, of being relevant in current times, and just simply being very well known. So this trio just kind of seems like a surefire, like, can't miss addition for the roster, especially for a Warner Brothers fighting game, right? And finally, well, this one's not really making a case per se, but I'll still try to twist it into making a case somewhat. So I want to go over a few fun facts about the characters. And first up, we're going to talk about the music tracks for their show. Now, music tracks for the original show. I don't know about the 2020 and 2021, the revival series. I'm not sure if this applies to that. But the original, when it was released back in 93, they came up with original soundtracks for like every single episode, if I'm not mistaken. At least that's what my research told me. But coming up with original soundtracks makes all those possible soundtracks able to be included in Multiverses much more tempting, right? Just think about it. You could have a victory theme for a certain song. You could have the songs playing as menu music, have a stage music going on, whatever it might be. You could utilize so many of those original tracks, and I think it'd be really fun, especially for the people that remember the old show, remember specific songs. So it would be really cool to see their music tracks kind of make their way into the game somehow, whether it's a couple or maybe a few dozen, who knows. It would still be a fun thing nonetheless. And speaking of, well, one more fun fact, did you know there was actually going to be a fourth Warner Brothers sibling? Yeah, there was. And the sibling was actually going to be so useless that the original three siblings were going to actually fire the fourth one. And I believe the fourth sibling's name was Lacko, Lakko. I think that's how you say it, Lacko. Now it's not the biggest deal, but could you imagine just for I don't know, Easter eggs or just a fun reference? For example, if you got some long lost concept art of this fourth sibling, and then they ended up animating that somehow, and they could use the fourth sibling in the player taunt while playing as the Animaniacs. You could put the fourth Warner sibling as a player profile icon, or maybe they appear in the winning animation for the Animaniacs, whatever it might be. There could be some fun things with that fourth Warner Brothers sibling. Now, again, it's not official, but if they wanted to go down that route, that'd be kind of a cool thing for the few of us that do know that there is a fourth, or was a fourth sibling that was planned at one point but ultimately didn't happen, but would still be cool nonetheless. Either way, that is pretty much going to be it. Hopefully I made somewhat of a case for the Multiverses roster to include the Animaniacs. They got a lot going for them. Music, moveset, being unique, being iconic, being relevant, all sorts of things. They kind of check so many boxes, and they would make such a fun character. Or I guess characters in this case. So that is going to be it for this one. Hope you guys enjoyed as always. And I guess I'll see ya when I'm looking at ya.